Yes, we've been reading cards, but have we read cards? Yeah, we do have read cards. Starting with Ashling, Rekindled. Ashling is back. Again, like all of the main cast from the old Lorwyn is back. We've had Reese, Marilyn, we'll see Bridget, and Ashling's here too. Yay! And now she's, I don't know, come into her own. She's ascended. She's a elemental sorcerer. Sorcerer, by the way, is a new creature type. And there are a bunch of cards that have had sorcerer added as a creature type, but have not taken away if they were like a wizard or a shaman or anything like that. Just this is a new type, and things that had like sorcerer in their name, like Aberrant Mind Sorcerer or Dackworth Sorceress. These are all just having sorcerer added in. Apprentice Sorcerer. Guess what? He's a wizard sorcerer. So they just get it added in. They're not removing previous types. Just in errata worth mentioning, since it does change, like, Tim to actually be human wizard sorcerer. Look at that. The sorcerer is a sorcerer. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Are the shamans becoming sorcerers? It's being added. And in future sets, I believe they're going to be printing fewer shamans and more sorcerers to kind of fill that same like red spell casting slot. So Ashling, Rekindled, a 2-mana 1/3. When it enters or transforms into Ashling, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Okay, so you can rummage. This is just a 2-mana card, so that seems pretty on price. But you can pay blue to transform her into Ashling, Rhyme-bound. Still an elemental sorcerer, elemental wizard on this side, because that's more blue. Whenever this creature transforms into Ashling and at the beginning of your first main phase, add 2 mana of any one color. This mana can only be spent on spells that cost 4 or more, or I should say, have a mana value of 4 or more. So kind of cool. It does ramp on the back side. I don't really think of it being a ramp pair, but that's kind of cool. You're a grand by day and a VV by night. I don't think this is too crazy, but I think that the backside's really interesting, since like you turn your 1 mana immediately into 2 mana, but you have to spend it right away and on big spell. Neat. Yeah, I would want to experiment with this to see what I could do with it. As far as how's it in limited, it seems fine. Not doing anything too crazy, but the ramp side of it, if you're in both colors, is really neat. Yeah, you can use that to like help evoke elementals or like cast those really expensive elementals. Somebody's saying like, oh yeah, you use it to set up a zombify. You could use it to set up a zombify. Boulder Aggressor. Gigante. This is a 5-mana 2/5 with double strike that gives other giants double strike too. We've seen a couple giants so far, mostly rare or uncommon, and we'll probably see more of them in red. This seems kind of cool, getting an uncommon lord that gives double strike of all things. Now, it's kind of tough because giants tend to cost a lot of mana. We've historically had some giants also in blue-red from Call Time, but these are going to be mostly, I think, red-white. Here come the big ladies. I love Giant Lady, and you know this about me. I think that this is a fine card, and the more giants you have, the better it is. And if you don't have any giants, whatever, it's a 2/5 double striker. Bone Club Berserker. Oh my gosh, look at you and your big old club. 4 mana, 2/4, with +2/+0 for each other goblin you control. Okay, so you're playing red-black, and you have, like, 6 other goblins, and big berserker. I don't think that this card is, like, that nuts. It's too expensive, I think, to really see a lot of play in goblin decks. Goblin decks usually want a lot of, like, 1 and 2 drops. But this seems like a cool card for limited that could get very strong or be very weak if you don't have a lot of other goblins. Yeah, it's kind of like Goblin Pile Driver if Goblin Pile Driver cost way too much mana. Because at 4 mana, that's what makes it tough. Pile Driver's good because it costs 2. How far into the set am I? I'm just starting red, which means I'm 126 cards in, excluding, I think, like 3 cards from the start. There's a lot of multicolored cards in this set because of hybrid mana, to my understanding. So I would say less than halfway, or around halfway, I think. Because this set is not huge. It doesn't have a giant bonus sheet. It's just special guests. Do I use spell table? Only to play with my friends that are like, don't have another way to play with me. But I'm never like, I don't know, queuing up on spell table for anything other than like, I don't know, playing on a show or playing with some like friends that moved away. Is it the size of a Spider-Man set? I think it's bigger than Spider-Man. Spider-Man was like 200 cards, right? Boulder Dash. Very cute. Boulder Dash being a sorcery that's 2 damage to any target. You can hit their face, and 1 damage to any other target. So you can't hit the same target twice, but you can smash a goblin and then smash somebody in the face. Also, there is a goblin running on a flying boulder. Yep. It's a regular size set, but it's the reason I'm saying like the bonus sheet isn't adding that much is because the longest set review I think I ever did was Thunder Junction, because it was a full set, Prosperity Post bonus sheet, which was huge, and it had the vault stuff, and it had special guests. It was so many cards. I think it took me 7 hours. It was painful. You could use this to kill Cub and land. At sorcery speed, I could see that being a sideboard option. In limited, this is just fine. It is a very slow piece of removal. It can't kill everything, but at least it can kill some stuff. Oh, yeah, and then there's sets like Avatar, which were just 2 fully separate sets, but only one was draftable. Brambleback Root. I like that this can hit face, though. That's nice. 3 mana, 4/5. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a 3 mana, 2/3, because it enters with 2 -1/-1 counters. It's a giant. Give it double strike. Pay 2, remove a counter from this creature. Any counter, target creature can't block this turn. Can only be activated at sorcery speed. Not bad. I feel like just a 3 mana, 4/5 eventually is kind of nice. Unfortunately, you can't just like burn this mana at the end of your opponent's turn to bring this back. Burning Curiosity. A 3 mana sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may blight 1. Exile the top 2 cards of your library. If the additional spell cost was paid, exile the top 3, and until the end of your next turn, you can play those cards. So this is a big impulse draw. It is sorcery speed, but it can give you up to 3 cards, which is pretty nice. You have this turn and the next turn to play or cast those cards. So I'd say this is okay card advantage for red in limited. I don't think I would play it outside of that, though. Champion of the Path. 4 mana, 7/3, and it's the champion, which means you'll have to either behold an elemental from your hand or from the battlefield. That card goes to exile. It will come back to your hand when this leaves play. So this is a 4 mana 7/3. Whenever another elemental you control enters, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. And when the card leaves, you get that card back. Ooh, this is kind of fun. So this one's very, very much like elemental synergy. And I mean, if you have multiples of this card, that seems rad, because that way you're just like, yeah, and I play another one, and that's 7 damage to your face. It only hits your opponent's face, but I could even see this being a finisher in commander decks. Behold me! Yeah, it's no Pyroglyph, because it can't hit any target, but it can hit face. Tacitus, thank you for the 13-month resub. Yeah, you can yell silly things when you behold, because you beholding. Does Elemental need more support? Elemental last got a big buff of support in M20, I think it was. It's had small amounts of support since. And the commander precon from this set, which is Dance of the Elements, this right here, this has Very cool elemental synergy in it. This pre-con, I think people are going to do nasty things with. They're going to upgrade it. They're going to make it a headache because the Ashling that heads this, it's a different one that's in the set, is good. It's very, very good. Yeah, Bloomburrow had elementals, but not elemental synergy, because all of the big beasts were. In limited, though, the more elementals you have, the better this gets. If you don't have a lot of elementals, do not play this card. Cinder Strike. This is a 1 mana, but you can also blight 1 as you cast it. Sorcery speed. Deal 2 damage to target creature, or 4 damage if you did choose to do the blighting. If you have blight payoff, that gets a lot better, and it is decent removal, I think, at 1 mana. Collective Inferno. Got all those flamekin coming together for a big old blast. This is a 5 mana convoke spell. When this enters, or as it enters, you choose a creature type and double all damage you would control. All damage from sources you control of that specific type. Now, I don't love this because where this would probably do best is in a go wide deck. Think goblins. But I don't want to be tapping the convoke with the goblins. I want to just attack in with them. And at 5 mana, I feel like I have damage doublers. At 4 mana, we have Torbran. It has a cool fracture foil. Yeah, I feel like this is a fun card, but not the best, like, damage increaser. I'd probably rather play the Tyrant, the dragon, because that hits everything, including your spells. Yeah, City on Fire costs significantly more. 3 more mana. Yeah, 3 more mana, but triples damage from all sources. Yeah, and dragons, which, like, doubling their damage would be rad. Like, you just play the damage doubling dragon, and also you're not convoking with dragons. Just too high of a cost. Yep. And it's tough because, like, it does have convoke. Oh, and as for limited, I don't like this for limited. I think that it's too specific. It's true. I'd say that the best place to play this would be, let's say you Krenko and you have 5 goblin tokens and they don't have haste, and you use them to convoke out Collective Inferno. But I feel like doubling the damage from a goblin isn't that big, because just giving them +1/+1, which is a thing a lot of goblin spells do, is going to be just as effective. Elder Auntie. Auntie, I want to eat the bones. Did nephew spit up again? Oh, good. Auntie needed to make a new batch of potions for the Miro market. Cute. 3 mana, 2/2. When it enters, make a Goblin. Okay, cool. It's 2 Goblins. These tend to be pretty good and limited. We have a bunch of rescue effects, too, in this, so... Oh, and black, specifically for Goblins, has some extra reanimate. Nice. End Blaze Epiphany. Oh, yep, you're on fire. You've come to some realization. Instant speed, X and red, deals X damage to target creature. Oh, I can't hit face. When that creature dies this turn, exile a number of cards from the top of your library equal to its power. Then choose a card exiled this way until the end of your next turn. You can play that card. So this is removal and card advantage. That's very good. The stronger creature you kill, the better this gets. Yeah, I would definitely play this in, like, any limited red deck. That's a very solid kill and impulse draw. And you get to pick. Like, it's not just the top card. You just choose a card exiled. The rest of them are gone. And you can play that next card. Yeah, it's at instant speed. So you can do this on your opponent's turn and then play it on their next turn. Could be good in Prosper. I don't know. But you could play it with Prosper. You could do X equals 2 if your creature is dying. You just want card advantage. Like, make it a cycle. Enraged Flamecaster. 3 mana, 3/2 elemental sorcerer with reach. Because he's like flame awning at the sky. Whenever you cast a spell with a mana value 4 or greater, this creature deals 2 damage to each opponent. So it's part of that elemental theme, which is the spells that cost 4 or more. I think that's fine. It's a very nice curve filler, and because it has reach, it can trade into some of the nasty fairies. Yes, this card absolutely has secret reach. Don't swing your flyers into it unless you know. But if you know, you know. Ooh, Explosive Prodigy. I like the way this card looks. I don't know, something about so many elementals is just like, ooh, this feels very flame elemental, but less naked. 2 mana, 1/1, Vivid. When it enters, deal X damage to target creature an opponent controls, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. Ooh, I like this. So this is a 1 mana deal, 1 damage if you have no other colors, up to 5 damage to a creature your opponent controls. I can see this being fun and limited. Even just as, like, 1 damage, it could kill a token. I like that. I mean, yeah, it's only a 1/1, but I like 1/1s. Enough. Feed the Flames. Fire is always hungry and never picky. 5 damage to target creature. If the creature would die, exile it instead. Okay. I mean, it triggers the 4 cost or more spell thing, and it's a good piece of removal for red. Kills most things in the set, and bonus, exile, so they can't bring it back. Flame Chain Mauler. Well, this guy looks intense. 2 mana, 2/2, and has a fire breathing ability. Okay, sure. It does what it does. Seems good for limited, because it also gets menace on its, like, fire breathing. You activate it once before you attack in, and then it'd have to block with 2 or more. Definitely get some damage in. Yeah, nice common bear. Flame Braider. Oh. There's, like, a cool, elemental in the background, too. 2 mana, 2/2 elemental bard. Tap, add 2 mana in any combination of colors, but can only use it for elemental spells or abilities, like this ability. I guess if you have a lot of elementals, that's a really good ramp. And there's some high-cost elementals, too. I like that, especially with the casting expensive spells sub-theme. Getting a couple of these could really accelerate the deck in limited. Does the exile work after kill? Does it work against indestructible? Somebody's asking in chat. No, if a creature is indestructible, this just does the damage to it and it just lives. It just sits there like, great, I don't care. But if it then died to, say, -1/-1 counters, it would be exiled because it died this turn. Yeah, this could get to a Cavalier on turn 3 in Commander. Kind of nice, without, like, other ramp. Just, like, a land a turn. I think Flame Braider seems very nice for elemental decks. I can even see putting this into, like, some Omnath decks where it's just like, yeah, guess who's a bunch of colors, and I'm casting it. Flame Braider helps. Flamekin Guild Weaver. Oh, another card I helped reveal. It's making fabrics out of Golden Glow Moth Silk. 4 mana, 4/3 with trample. When it enters, make a treasure. That's kind of fun. It gives you a refund. It's got trample. I like this. There's a lot of low toughness stuff and high toughness stuff in this set. But, like, the low toughness stuff is going to have trouble dealing with just the damage through. And bam, you get, like, your treasure back. Good for casting big stuff. Also, it costs 4, which it's that sub-theme. Giant Fall. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. It's a bite or destroy target artifact. I think bite spells in general are very good removal. Red has some high power creatures. Would run. 2 thumbs up. Also, destroying an artifact as an alternative if there's artifacts worth blasting? Sure! Yeah, you make a giant fall. Or your giant falls on a guy. Rip. Yeah, red getting bite spells is pretty recent. I think it was only in the last, like, couple sets. There was one in Avatar. There's one here. I think that it's a nice addition to red. Goat Nap. You've seen the Goat Napper. You've seen the goat. And here's the Goat Nap. 3 mana. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Until untap that creature. Gains haste. If it is a goat, it gets +3/+0. Glad to see Goat Nap. Always back. Truly is the goat. Yeah. Goat nap. I like this new art, by the way, of just like this goat who does not want to go into the bag. If you're wondering, what's the synergy? Changelings are goats. The changelings are goats. So to get +3/+0, it's goated. Yeah, it's an active treason plus anti-goat tech. Goliath daydreamer. Also, by the way, the giants, our giant synergy grows. This is another rare though. This is a 4-mana 4/4 giant wizard. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, exile that card with a dream counter on it instead of pulling it into your graveyard as it resolves. So the spell still resolves, but then you get it in exile to use later. Whenever this creature attacks, you may cast a spell from among the cards in exile with the dream counters. So this card needs to be out, or a version of it needs to be out, because it doesn't matter who exiled them as long as they have the dream counters. That's kind of cool. It's not that well protected for attacking, but like if you put removal under this and then attack in, being able to recast the removal for free is kind of nice. The card, by the way, after you cast it from exile, goes to the graveyard, because it only exiles the ones that are cast from your hand. You probably only have one daydreamer in your deck and limited, but if you have multiple, like the dream counters, I think will still work across them. So that's kind of cool. Gristle Glutton. He's having a snack. Crunch and crack. Gnaw and snap. Be the snacker or be the snack. He's eating a little bit of everything. 2 mana, 1/3. You can tap, blight it to discard a card. If you do, draw a card. So you can rummage with this guy, but you gotta hurt him to do it. Or I guess hurt a creature to do it. Well, if you have good ways to remove those -1/-1 counters, that's like a free little rummage. I like it. And you can do that like in response to it dying otherwise. This is a card I'm actually pretty excited about. This is a 2 mana 2/2 goblin sorcerer that can't be countered. It has ward pay 2 life. Other spells I control also can't be countered. This is not symmetrical like Spider Punk was. This is just your spells. And other creatures you control also get ward pay 2 life. I think that this is a great way to be like, yeah, I'm landing my stuff. And it doesn't matter what color it is, unlike Allosaurus Shepherd. And I'm protecting it a little bit once it's in play. So don't touch them. Get squelched. Get squelched. Yeah, I like this card. I would like a copy of it for Constructed. It's also very good for Limited because of that. Creatures you control have ward pay 2 life. That's a small tax, but the fact that it's on every creature, including itself, will be some extra damage to your opponent. Having multiple on board will stack that ward. Yep. Also, if you have a like trigger doubler like roaming throne, this will have twice the ward. Yay. Call Spider-Punk, he's crying. Listen, maybe the Spider-Man cards should have had their actual names on Arena. We don't even have Spider-Punk. That's good. It seems cool. And it's not legendary, too, so throw it into whatever you want. An impolite entrance. 1 mana sorcery. Target creature gains trample and haste until end of turn, draw a card. So this is a 1 mana red cantrip. A pretty nice one because it gives trample and haste, but it does require you to have a creature out. This is nice in decks like all the mono red storm decks, like your Electros and your Burgies and all of that. All of the Ashling, the Modern Horizons Ashling, good with this. Oh, good cards, all good cards. Oh, and Urabrask. Yeah, there's the Urabrask who the flip one. You love porridge. That's what it says. We smelled you kiss twits making porridge in here. We love porridge. Give us your porridge. You could target your opponent's creature if you don't have one to just be like, okay, I don't want this card in my hand. I want something else. So you can use it to draw. Kindle the inner flame. 4 mana kindred elemental sorcery, so it does count as an elemental. Create a token that's a copy of another creature you control, except it has haste. And at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this token. Flashback of 2, and behold 3 elementals. Weird secondary cost. So it's a red clone spell. I'm not that big on these unlimited. It does cost 4, but like, I don't know. I find that they're kind of hard to make work super well, but like the fact this one has flashback, if you're heavy in elementals, does make it better. Kolrath Zealot. Ooh, this guy's very on fire. Kind of skeletonized looking too. Yeah, some elementals have like incredible enter the battlefields. Think you're like Furies, the other evocables, Muldrifters. That'd be nice. 6 mana, 6/5. Yeah, you could use that ramp card to cast this too, because it's an elemental. It's not an elemental creature, it's just elemental typed. When this creature enters, exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play that card and has basic land cycling too. So there's only 2 cards that have the basic land cycling. That's so strange. I think this is a solid card though, because I think the basic land cycling, even though it requires red for its cost, is very nice, can help you fix. And this card is not bad. It's a 6 mana 6/5 with a little bit of card advantage. Nice. 6/5, pretty buff. Pretty buff. Lasting Tarfire. At the beginning of each end step, if you put a counter on a creature this turn, this enchantment deals 2 damage to each opponent. Ooh, it even counts on your opponent's turn. So if they're like causing you to have withered things, or if you're blighting your own stuff, that's fun. It's payoff for blighting your own things. I wouldn't put this in a deck unless I was very committed to self-blighting, but I think that that's cool. Lava Leaper. It's like a jackal frog. 4 mana, 4/4. All elementals have haste. I like it. But whenever a player taps a basic land for mana, that player is going to be mana flaring, getting an additional mana of that color. It only works on basic lands, but in limited, almost every land is going to be basic. Don't play this card in limited unless you are going to win on that turn. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's all creatures have haste. Not all elementals have haste. All creatures have haste. So it's everyone, your opponents included. I think that this is a card you play if you are going to win on this turn, and if you don't have a way to win, your opponent will benefit from it as much as you do. I think that in Constructed, though, this is actually a little better sometimes, because you can have a mono red Blood Moon kind of deck that's like, I'm just running basic mountains anyway, so I get more mana, and you're running a 5-color slop deck that is 5-color, not getting extra mana. Hee hee ho ho. This is also fun if you just want to cause some chaos. Meek Attack is sneak attack, but cares about power and toughness. So anything that I guess would have died to a cut down can be meek attacked. This is a 3-mana enchantment. You pay 2. You can put a creature with a total power and toughness 5 or less from your hand into the battlefield. It gets haste and then gets sacrificed at the beginning of the next end step. You can do this on any player's turn. Notably, there's a bunch of very good cards that can be meek attacked in. There's also a lot of cards that you wish this would work with that won't. Oh, Sergeant Salt, thank you for the sub. And Matt, thank you for the sub. Oh, thank you, thank you. I do not think this card is worth playing in Limited. And I don't think the card is worth playing in Constructed. I think that, like, it's kind of getting that, like, maybe you put it in your Alacia or your Terra deck to sneak attack in the small things. I kind of wish it was just, like, a low power, not combined power and toughness, because it is really limited. Yeah, you use it to get extra ETBs, and there are good cards this works with. It's just hard to build around it as, like, a theme. And I think if you're like focusing on sneak attacking, that's not that great for Limited anyway, unless it's big creatures, which it doesn't work with. Yeah, but sneak attack is kind of notoriously a busted card. So this is, I don't know, an attempt at fixing it. It doesn't really work. A Perforos is also similar. Yeah, I don't like it. Don't like it. Reckless Ransacking. Oh, there's a Noggle. He's kicking it. 2 mana instant, +3/+2 to a creature, and get a treasure. Ooh, so it kind of only costs 1 mana because you get a treasure back. That seems good. I mean, like, it's a good combat trick. Does Meek Attack work at instant speed? Yes, you can do this on your opponent's turn. Most thieves are silent and swift, leaving no trace of their crime. Noggles take a different approach. Yeah, and we have a Noggle Thief we'll see later. Scuzzback Scrounger, another one of those boar-headed goblins. 2 mana, 3/2. The only metal polish he uses is blood. No, dog, that's just gonna make your stuff rust! At the beginning of your first main phase, you may blight 1. If you do, create a treasure token. So you're saying Meek Attack and Agent of Treachery. Yeah, but like, if you're doing that, you could just use Sneak Attack, because the places that Agent of Treachery are legal in, so is Sneak Attack. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may blight 1, and if you do, make a token. Ooh, treasure token. I like that. I think that a 2 mana 3/2 that lets you hurt your creatures a little bit each turn to get extra treasure is a cool way to do red ramp. I like that. Meek Attack, Famished Worldsire. Yeah, and like you have to like not sacrifice all your lands. You have to like do it kind of weird. I feel like you can build around it. You can make a jank deck with this. It's just not something I would be aiming for outside of like do it once and then you've done it. Seer. This is a 2 mana, 4 damage to creature or planeswalker. Solid removal in red, and it's instant speed. I really like this. If you get some of these, it's good removal for your deck. Sizzling Changeling. Oh, what a cute lizard that's in everything. This is a 3 mana, 3/2. When it dies, exile the top card of your library. You can play that card until end of your next turn. Okay, not bad. I mean, it's a 3 mana, 3/2. That gets you a little bit of card advantage when it dies. So you can swing with it and be like, hey, fight me. He's such a spicy lizard. A good lizard indeed. Seems like a good goat to nap. That's a good goat to nap. Soul Immolation. Whoa, this is some crazy art with all these like skulls and stuff. 5 mana sorcery. As an additional cost to cast the spell, Blight X. X cannot be greater than the greatest toughness among creatures you control. Huh. Soul Immolation deals X damage to each opponent and each creature they control. Yay! I will put this in commander decks as a funny finisher. There's not that many big butt decks in red. Red tends to be more power focused than toughness focused. But I actually think this is a pretty decent finisher for limited. Because it's like, hey, I have 9 toughness among all of my creatures. I'm going to blight 9, kill you and all of your creatures, and like maybe they would survive it, and then it's like a symmetrical board wipe that also hits their face. Yeah, you can put all of the blight on a small target. You just can't blight more than the total toughness you have. Oh, I'm sorry, it's greatest toughness. So if you have like a 7 toughness creature and you do this, you don't need to blight it. You can blight your 1/1. Yeah. It's just greatest toughness, not total. Sorry, I misspoke for that. But you, if you have a big butt creature, and there are some we saw, mostly in white, which makes sense. I think we'll see some in green too. Kind of like a Nibelheim Flame, yeah. But you put all of your blight onto probably not that creature. You can put it on your smaller creature if you have it. But yeah, I think this is a cool card. I like the idea of like blasting your opponent in the face with this and killing all their creatures and then swinging in with whatever's left. It's a sort of one-sided board wipe, yeah. Yeah, put this on your walls of bossing. Say, put this on your adamantoise. We got 2 really high toughness creatures right now in standard. But they also cost way too much mana to do this with. Soulbright Seeker. 1 mana, 2/1. Oh, you have to behold for this. Behold an elemental or pay 2. There's like a whole cycle of these 1 mana, 2/1s. That's cool. I like 1 mana, 2/1s. Pay red. Target creature you control gains trample. If it's the 3rd time this ability has resolved this turn, add red, 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 red. So it's a ramp spell. Weird. So if you're in mono red and you have 3 more red, it's like a Soulbright Flamekin. Yeah, whack. That's a cool way to do red ramp though. It's like Soulbright Flamekin. Cool. Weird way to do the ability. The more elementals you have, the better this gets for limited. And I do like that it could be ramp, which is strange. You need to have 3 red sources to make the 4th red source, though. Sour bread auntie. I don't know if I would trust a goblin sour bread. Oh, she's given food though. What a nice lady. 4 mana, 4/3. When this creature enters, you may blight 2. Poison your children with the cookies. If you do, create 2 1/1 black and red goblin creature tokens. Yeah, look, it made more goblins. It's fine. I think this is fine for limited. Makes a bunch of goblins. More goblins you have, more better. Spine Rock Tyrant. Oh, also a card I got to reveal in the video. Spine Rock Tyrant is a 5 mana 6/6 flying dragon with Wither. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell with a single target, you can copy it. Those spells gain Wither, and you can choose new targets for the copy. This is rad. It's gonna double your removal. It can turn your removal into like -X, so it gets through things. Also, it's a 5 mana 6/6 flyer with Wither. So it's good. It's a big dragon. Also, like, it doubling a lot of your removal is a pretty nice bonus. It's a pretty nice bonus. Notably, you can also use this on beneficial cards because Wither doesn't actually do anything unless damage is being dealt. So, like, let's say you cast that +3/+2 spell on one of your creatures. You can double it because it has only 1 target. It can double face damage. Yeah, as long as it's single targeting damage. That's the only, like, restriction is single target. You could use it to double target player draws cards. Yep, as long as it's targeting one thing. Squawk Roaster. It's a 3-headed bird elemental that's in its own nest. It hungry. 4 mana, star 4, double strike. Power is equal to the number of colors you have in your permanents. Fun for soup. If you only have like 1 or 2 colors out, it's not that good. It's not terrible. Once you get to 3 colors, that's pretty rad. It's a chicken hydra. Yeah, I wouldn't seek this one out too highly. Sting Slinger. 3 mana, 3/3, Goblin Warrior. You can pay 2, tap, and blight 1 to deal 2 damage to each opponent. Okay, you can only do that 3 times if he's the only creature before he dies, but I think that's kind of fun. I wouldn't seek this one out too crazy, but like 2 damage? It's pretty good. And it's 2 mana to activate on top of everything else. The first step is to wuzzle the buzzers, which is, I think, agitate the bees, which is why you get stung. Tweeze! It's good with that tar fire achievement. Oh, yeah, that's a fairy pulling out a giant's nose hair. Come on, don't be stingy. You've got so many. 3 mana, 3 damage to any target. You may discard a card if you do draw a card. That's fine. It's removal and a loot. Sorry, not loot. Rummage. Lorwyn Torchmaster, another cute goblini. 2 mana, 2/2, so it's a bear. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may blight 1, so you could do it the turn this comes out to give a creature haste. Oh, that's not bad. Like, this is a 2 mana, 2/2 that does not need to do anything. If you have blight payoff, that's good, and if you really want haste on something, you can do that too. I think that's nice. And now, we're going to move on to green. So I'll take another break, and then that good green stuff.